No. I did want to touch on some of the albums that dropped this week. Again, I haven't had a whole lot of time to listen to a whole bunch of them. I've gotten through them like once, maybe twice, but not a heavy focus on it. And I think it's because, like I said earlier, they didn't they didn't hit me right away. So Reason dropped
Mhm.
a project called No More No Less, a little 3-pack, and it's just a collection of folks that he has. I know he has Wale on there, Benny the Butcher. He has Isaiah Rashad on there. Those are just some of the guys off the top of my head that make appearances on this 3-pack, and this is just something to hold us over till he drops his next project. But the prior project to that was pretty damn fire. So y'all go look up Reason. He's the artist out of TDE. So far so good, man. 3-pack. You really, I mean, what can you say about a 3-pack? So I can't say anything negative. I think it served its purpose, in my opinion. Did you get a chance to listen to it
Bro.
yet?
No, I didn't even must know it was out. It didn't even must hit on there, and it's because like he did this with Wale, Benny the Butcher. Like he got a bunch of features on here,
Yeah.
and it seems like he included all of them instead of just yeah, that sucks. All right,
Featuring,
no,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
that would be on my listen. I did not know.
Yeah, so
I hate
that's
I missed
fire.
that.
And then Ransom and a cat named Rome Streets. So Rome
Hmm.
Streets has been doing this thing. I think he dropped like maybe 4 projects this year prior to this joint project with Rand, and Rand has dropped at least 2 projects that are, if I'm remembering correctly. The Heavy is the Head with the Crown joint on there,
Hmm.
and then Seven is
So,
another
yeah.
one. And I think those are the 2 that dropped so far this year, on top of the latest release, which is called Coupe de Grace. So on first listen, man, I was just like, I got to give this some more time, because with guys that I actually like, if I don't like it right out the gate, I know I got to give it a few more spins to dive a little bit deeper into it. And then with that, they're giving a little bit more grace with me. When you build up a lot of good sweat equity with me as a fan, I don't write the shit off if it doesn't resonate right away. The bars are there. The bars are there. It's just sometimes the beats and the mood I'm in, you know what I mean? So this one I didn't gravitate to it right out the gate. Has some dope joints though. Has some dope joints on there. They got a feature with Che Nor on there where they're it's called Claudine. They're telling a story on there. So, but that's one of some dope storytelling on that, and that one stood out by far. And Silent Murderers, and then they also got one featuring the Game on there too that I think you will rock with a lot, Press.
Okay, I'll give it a listen. Uh, as for me, Mick Jenkins, Elephant in the Room. You know,
How did that sound? You ran through that yet?
yeah, I done ran through it once. Need to go back and listen to it again. I like the first like couple songs, first like 5 songs. I really felt like that's the Mick Jenkins I like. That's more of like the waves. But then you know how like later on he had the more moody type songs and more I don't think he does it like it's not like Wale doing it. You know what I mean? Like he don't kill that type of vibe. It's nice. It's not great. You know what I mean? So uh, and then he started putting a lot of that into the album, and mm, that kind of brought me out again. I'm gonna give it a couple more listens before I give a full look at it, but it's kind of 50-50 with me right now. You know what I mean? So I like the beginning. At the tail end, it kind of like trails out a little bit, but it's some of the stuff that could grow on you too at the multiple listens. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm 50-50 right now. So then I had the Currency and Harry Fraud Regatta.
Okay.
Y'all done turned me into this Currency fan. I hate
I
y'all
haven't
for
gotten to it yet.
it. So it's nothing bad I can say. It's more of a Currency, consistent with it on his style, his flow. Once you, like I said, got out of that stressful situation, a little bit more laid back, I have an appreciation for his music a lot more. But yeah, he continues on. He continues on the same little path with this one, man. So it's enjoyable, quick. I think it's like 7 songs on here. So man, it's a nice listen.
Is it because you get to enjoy the marijuana for your pain?
I
Yeah,
don't
is
know
that
what
why
you're
you
talking
enjoy?
about, Cash. I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's it's more enjoyable. So, Cash, another album I was looking at was um, ASAP Rocky. Like they dropped his album at I guess it was the 10-year anniversary release and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Live Love ASAP. And you know, you'd have heard these albums before, but then coming back and like hearing them again, like remaster, whatever they're doing to them. But I was just going all together for the music. I haven't heard this album in a long time, right? I haven't went back and listened to it myself personally for a while. And with it just showing up there, I downloaded it, I'm re-listening at it. Bro, these good ass albums. I forget how good this album was. You know, I really had genuinely forgot, man. Playing it again in the mix of the new releases that came out, it still seemed like it felt in the vibe of this generation of music, and it was better than most of the albums put out this week as well. And I think that tells to the strength of just ASAP Rocky and his status in the game, you know?
Peso, uh, brand new guys. Like I still remember when those dropped and we were getting to know Rocky and TDE and the lesser known TDE guys at the time, because all I knew out of TDE at the time when this was starting to bubble really was J Rock, then Kendrick, you know what I mean? And then, but Schoolboy was, once I got caught wind of him, that was easily one of my favorites. So it just brought back all of those memories of discovering these artists for the first time and not having much to go off of. You know what I mean? Just finding what you could find on these guys. And this album is pretty damn dope, but safe to say that our man Rocky ain't coming back. You know what I mean? To the music. Last thing he dropped was in 2018, and being with the billionaire Rihanna. I don't see it
Oh,
happening,
yeah.
Brez. I don't see him
I
coming
see him
back to
still
the
gonna
game.
I still seeing him release. He gonna release some songs. I don't think he's completely done on that. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Other stuff that he dabble in, the fashion and all this other stuff, man. It's kind of
Fashion
just
killer,
like,
right? Fashion killer. I don't see him coming back.
yeah, yeah,
But this is
yeah,
a good
yeah.
body of work, man. I did check it out.
Did you did you think we undersold it? Like when it first came out, like now, like when you listen it, like I don't think I praised this album enough to people. Like listen to it again, I was like, man, this was a good ass. But I would really have to go back and listen at what else was coming out. I ain't really do that now. Like what else came out in that same category? What was the reason for me not latching on to this? Like I felt like
I
I
don't know
should
what it
after the
was,
re-listen.
but I grew a better appreciation for him after this. It wasn't during this time. I could tell you that. Like I wasn't on that wave a lot because I was still like, yo, dude, you from New York. Why are you sounding like you're not from New York? That was what I was on. That's the type of time I was on. And Ferg and everybody else, but they loved them southern beats and they made it their own. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
they sounded New York on southern beats, and that's what I learned over time. But the ignorance in me 10 years ago, like because I think this dropped almost 10 years ago, right? But
Yeah, it's 10 years ago. That's the reason they did it. It was like a 10-year release.
yeah, so
Very similar to how Big Crit just did his like earlier this year as well. So
yeah, so that's kind of where I was with it. Because you in 2010, come on, man, like y'all had South had a run, and you
mhm.
know all we had was the old faithfuls, Nas, J's, the Kisses. Like they would drop, but like we weren't in the current discussions of the guys. And
Yeah.
you tend to forget that ASAP from Harlem. You know what I mean? And they just did it in their own way. They had their Dipset influences, and I think they'll tell you that. And they just continued to take it from where Dipset left off and that whole ASAP mob thing. So I don't think I appreciated it then like I do now looking back. So, and like you said, it's aged gracefully, pretty damn good with his body of work.
Okay. And that takes us to our final album that we reviewed this week. It was
Sean Don. Yeah.
Big Sean, and Hit Boy.
Newly released or newly on his own label, Don Life. Don Life.
Yeah,
So he's on his
7
own, man. He's
songs,
doing his
right?
own
What
thing.
seven songs?
Yeah, six,
What you
seven, something like
expect?
that. Yep.
We've just been praising Hit Boy and how he get with people and like just makes them excel. Title of the album is "What You Expect," and my answer to that is better than this. Honestly, this is not. This is not. I felt like Big Sean after my appreciation for him last year after like not having him in those convos. I felt like he was still in the zone on this, but I don't feel like the production matched that same energy. And I
Yeah.
really didn't. I really didn't.
Oh,
I really
okay.
felt like I felt like and that's what I'm saying. After just heaping all the praise on him just 2 months ago, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's a miss. It's a miss in my opinion, and I feel like this one was a miss in that category. It may be. I go back and listen to it, and I was like, well, some songs it was Big Sean not coming on, but I just didn't feel like they gel, and it made for a great sound. Come on, man, we just you just gave us the Nas, and then coming to this like they ain't on the same level. These two things are not on the same level, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, I have you in such high regard. Like, I can't deal with mediocre. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm not gonna accept mediocre, and that's kind of what I got attuned to when I'm like listening to a Hit Boy produce a project. So, and this was average, mediocre. You know what I mean? It didn't hit those same notes as his previous projects did for before the Benny the Butcher, the Nas. Like this wasn't on that same level.
Yeah, this is just one of them cases, Prez, where it's initial listen, don't gravitate towards it, gonna give him grace, go back to it, see if it did different setting, different timeline. I'm listening to it, I might like it. You got to go back to the guys that you actually enjoy, and to do be one and done. For me, that would be doing a disservice. But I like you, bro. I initially I was like, yeah, this is okay. And I mean, Lil Durk, I think, had one of the lines off the project when he was talking about the Larsa Pippen and Future line that he said on there that had me chuckle. But other than that, it's sometimes it's just a collection of songs and the beats just don't resonate. And I think that's what was happening. You know what I mean? And is this a good offering as this is your first solo on your own record label offering that you could have done? Probably not, but it, again, I don't know. I think the rapping was there. I think the rapping was there as Big Sean typically does. But I just think that the production didn't, nothing gravitated. I think he should have went more in his rapper bag and this instead of doing the poppy type
Mhm.
Hit Boy
I
shit.
think we have talked about this before about these rappers who demand or want their freedom and get away from the industry, but then when it comes time to produce, they don't live up to it. And it's been rare that they kind of lived up to it. Only people I know that I can name off the top of my head who kind of elevated still right after that was uh Big Crit to 12 for 12. That shit's a classic in my opinion. Uh, and he killed everything on that. You know what I mean? But that showed why he was under respected or underutilized, like on Def Jam. Uh, this right here kind of seems like did you need those other pieces, Big Sean, to like guide you in the right direction? You know what I mean? Did you gather the ear? Did you sit down and really plan out the next step properly to make sure that you cover all bases and what you're looking to capture on your music? If you did, I mean, this is not the direction of the Big Sean that I wanted to see. Yeah, that's just honest.
Yeah, from what I heard, it was a bit of like they kind of just grew apart in terms of just priority and how he's bossed up in his career. So I think that was more the thing, and the unpredictable nature of Kanye West and good music where the artists are doing. I mean, like this is the second artist that either wants to quit music or is not wanting to be on the label. I mean, Tiana Taylor is another. You know what I mean? So it's kind of trending that way. Saha the Prince, the not the proper promotion that he should probably be getting. So
That
it's
shit
a
is
lot
still a
of
classic.
guys
No
that
Dope on
fall into.
Sunday is a fucking classic.
Yeah, no church on Sundays is. So, that brings me to another
Yeah, no
point that I just thought about as you were saying it. And I always feel like I approach these reviews, and this is how I approach life. I'm always level headed. So if y'all looking for a hot take for me to go one way or another, this shit is trash. Da, 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 you probably never gonna get that. You probably never gonna get that from me. I'm going to nicely say I don't like the shit because I listen to it. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like, but it'll never be in a disrespectful manner. And that we're not that podcast. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we'll ever be unless we just absolutely don't like it, and that's exactly what we'll say. But do you ever feel like the guys that you like, you force yourself to give them grace when you just know out the gate it's just not it. This is just not it, and I'm not gonna
Oh,
revisit
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I do it quite often, and we didn't talk about it. Like I think I even was doing it for more for the underground artists than I do for the mainstream. Like I said, like it's a couple artists. I think like when we talk about Uptown XO, like I consider one of his albums one of the greats in my opinion. But then uh, I don't necessarily vibe with all the rest of his albums, but I keep coming back. I give him room to grow just because after what you done what him produced before, you know what I mean? And it's several artists like Mick Jenkins is one that we talk about, like
Currency
yeah,
for me,
Currency, yeah,
like
it's
I get to the point where I know I asked one of our co-collaborators, Iggy, to send me a list of currency stuff that is dope from the year because it seems like he drops so much. And I think the reason why I'm asking for the list, Prez, is because when I listen to this shit, I know I like him, but I don't find myself returning to his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen
Mhm.
once when it come out, and better hope that it comes out on a week that there's nobody else that I like more than him because I like him as a legacy act, but I'm not I'm not as in tune or invested in his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it always seems like it's just the same old from him. Respect what he does, respect all of that, but it just seems like I be feeling like I be forcing myself with some guys to where I like what they do. I like them as a person. I like their personality, but the music just seems like it just be like, damn, it don't. It's just another collection of music. It don't feel like a moment. It don't feel like something I should be paying attention to. And I'm
Mhm.
trying to do less of that in probably in
Yeah.
2022. I'm gonna do less of that. If y'all motherfuckers gonna have to come DM me something and tell me about a project for me to care about it. Cause these guys are doing this too much. Like, and this is no knock on the Mick Jenkins and currencies of the world that drop a lot of shit throughout the year. Shit gotta be fire. It gotta be a moment. And if it's not, I'm not forcing myself to listen no more. That's my declaration. That's what I've come to this week. Listen to music. Like I'm not going back. If it ain't it, and I don't see a potential, and I know it in my gut, like the Ransom and Rome Streets, I'm gonna go back to it. Ransom done built up hell of a sweat equity with me, but I'm not really into Rome Streets yet. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. I've tried to listen to his solo projects, just haven't gotten into him yet. It's not whack. He's not a whack. He can rap. It's just not what he's saying might not be resonating with me at the moment. And that's through. I listened to 4 projects and I gave him 4 chances, and it is what it is. Rand sees something in him, so hats off to him. But as a listener, it just wasn't that. I think that's what threw this project off for me, and I am on my first listen. Now going back, I may feel a little bit different, but I'm gonna give the chance to go back based off Rand's past, not necessarily Rome. So, yeah, I think that's all I got to say about that. I'm tired of forcing myself to
Yeah, and
come back.
man, and like as we approach these things differently, like from the podcast point of view, like I keep a running list of albums I think are great or have going to be in my discussion for end of the year albums of the year and stuff like this. So that list gets long throughout the year. So as we get in this tail end, this fourth quarter, as we enter in and everything, like if those albums ain't jumping out to me right off the jump, I'd be like, why am I wasting my time to continue to try to force myself when I know I got a list of 16, 17 that I love,
Albums, projects,
that
yeah.
I haven't got to listen to like I want to because we constantly listen to this stuff. And I would rather go
Go
back to
back.
that 16,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean, than
You're absolutely right.
trying to force myself to listen to this.
You absolutely right. Just got to go back to the music you love because again, man, I want to get back to knowing these songs again. I want to get back to being able to repeat these songs. You know, should we go to a concert to see these guys in concert? I don't want to just, oh, that's a song I like. I just want to get back into that and really zoning out like I used to as a younger cat that had more time to listen to music. Right now I don't have the time. So if you don't catch me in this microwave society, I'm sorry. Unless you built up a lot of hard work and just staying power with me, I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again because it's just too much other music to get to, press. And it's no knock on God's talent. It's just when you catch this shit. So sometimes Currency connects with me, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, man. You reminded me of that. I forget which coach it was, but the saying is in my head. No, can't do it. Can't win with him. Can't win without him. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Like just frustration. That frustration part, like that.
It is. It
uh,
again, man. Like I hate to keep being a repeater, man, but there's too much good music out to spend time with guys that don't hit you off the back, man. And that's sadly the climate we're
so
in.
no, no, I think what it is, Cash, like you want to be the overall reviewer, you want to be like able to appreciate like everything, but this is where your bias is gonna come in a little bit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not everything is gonna resonate with you or is it for you, you know what I mean? So you gotta be able to understand and appreciate that portion of it and just back away from it, just saying like and I think you'll be the better way to analyze it or say it's just like, hey, if you love this and this type of music or this and this type of artist, I can see that you will resonate with this album, EP, whatever it is right now. Like this is right up your lane. But as for me, I'm not in that zone, not in that. That's not the type of artistry I love. So I'm gonna say, if you're very attuned to someone like me, y'all got a catalog. I mean, you got tons of episodes, and you kind of know my taste now. If you're in that same similar vein, this probably ain't for you neither. So there you go.
Yeah, you're right, man. You can't cover music like you cover sports. Like I love to watch basketball, I love to watch football. I could watch any game. It doesn't matter. You know, and I get something out of it because I just love to watch the game. That don't mean I'm a fan of every team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you gotta approach it the same way. You know, you got a lot of artists out there, but that doesn't mean that you like everything they do. You know what I mean? And some shit is just try again next time. It's not bad. This project just ain't for me, and that's okay. That's okay. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Really is.
most artists, I think, will be cool with that. It's
Yeah.
just as
Yeah.
long as you
I
don't
mean,
shit on them
yeah, yeah,
at the
yeah.
same
It's
time.
just like now, if their goal is to be that mainstream, that new Drake, I'm telling you, you're not reaching everybody. I will tell you that dream seems kind of far from the project I just listened to. But if you're fine with building your base, your audience off this style of rap, this style of hip hop, you're doing a damn good job and keep it up.
For sure, man. But yo, man, I think that's all I got on that, man. I know we belabored that point, and I think we drove it home. But I mean, I think I want to have more discussions like this of random shit that pops up in our head of text messages that we go through. You know what I'm saying? And definitely keeping in tune with interviewing the artists that we actually see some potential in. So for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Good talk. Like I said, but I still I did feel kind of disappointed overall about the Fab because I held him in high regard, and then as I go back and listen to that catalog, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit to come to reality on what is his industry catalog.
Dang, yeah. Man, same way with Kiss, man. I came to that realization along the realization you came to this weekend. I've come to that, and I keep bringing up Kiss and Jada because I love those guys, but I can't have arguments and defend their honor because somebody's gonna knock me out the box with somebody else that has classics and the same accolades to boot, and then I'm out of the
Yeah.
argument unless I just want to be ignorant
Yeah,
and
unless
you know be
if you
steadfast
just
in my
wanna keep
point.
it going, wanna be
Yeah,
stubborn on it, but I mean, you know when your argument is kinda lost.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
much to like how you talk about the Raiders and them making the playoffs. It's kind of one of those things,
That shit
man.
is a
Where
reality. That shit is a reality. That's happening.
hey, you were 6-2 2 years ago, wasn't you?
We're 5-2 right now.
You were
We're
six
going
and
into the
two two
5.
years
But
ago,
I'm
though, right?
glad that you're going ahead giving us I'm glad that you're going
Was
ahead
you
and
six
giving
and
us
two
the
2 years
Giants,
ago?
and then we can see how we play after the Giants, which, like I said, we got
Come
kinda
on, it's the
rough. Got
Giants,
Kansas
man. It's the
City and
Giants. Come on, they ain't got
it's Kansas
Saquon.
City and Cincinnati right afterwards. So I know those are gonna be tough games, and you're gonna like, oh
Oh,
look,
come
y'all
on,
lost to
Mister.
2,
I'm
not
not
giving
gonna
us credit.
overlook the next opponent. You don't play. You don't play for them. You a damn fan. What the hell you, Mister? I
The
don't
fans
overlook the
play a
opponent.
part of it. We're seeing that, Cash. This year, we're kind of seeing that fans in the stands and games are going way different than they was when it was when it wasn't done. It was all silent and you could hear the snap count. It's just
Speaking of
different.
games, we got to get to these games. You have Don't Sleep on the Raiders podcast that drops weekly. I have Don't Sleep on the Eagles that drops weekly. We expanding, people. We're expanding. But in order to give a great hindsight to the game and an overall review, we have to get to these games. And with that said, this is episode 132, Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to Don't Sleep on the Eagles, Don't Sleep on the Raiders, and we out.